Hey Pisces, I hope you guys are doing awesome. It's Zahara Stars with Illum Astrology doing your July 2018 astro weather forecast. What a month this is going to be. First of all, the big news is that Jupiter, your other ruler, is moving direct on the 10th of this month. And this is fantastic because we all love Jupiter direct. Jupiter brings us fortune, luck, hope, and favors us all, and definitely allows us lots of opportunity, opens the doorway to opportunity all through our faith and hope. And you Pisces know all about having the faith, keeping the faith, and hoping. So this is going to be really awesome. Now, Jupiter is in the sign of Scorpio, which is your 9th house of higher learning, travel, expansion, all that stuff. Jupiter going direct there can definitely open up new avenues for you to travel. Absolutely further your education, but it's going to open you guys up to new insights. The 9th house is about exploration through faith and abundance and travel and, about religion and politics and just life. It's all about seeking answers. And so a lot of you can have a lot of doors opened up for you to learn new things, to learn and have deeper understandings about a lot of things. So it's going to be really positive in terms of you guys being able to unlock some hidden dimensions to the knowledge that you know. Some of you might be going back to school. For those of you that are going back to school, this is awesome. You're going to learn a lot. It's going to be fun. You're going to have opportunities to get into some of the schools maybe that you were hoping to get into, for those of you that this applies. For others of you, you could travel, do a lot of travel while Jupiter goes direct and have fun doing so. Jupiter is really positive just in general, and in direct motion, he brings abundance, luck, and fortune. So we're all happy to have Jupiter back in gear again, okay? Now, it's a little bit wacky because we do have Mars retrograde, and that's our vitality and our action, our determination, and our follow-through. So for you guys, this might be a little bit of a strange place for Mars. He's actually in your 12th house of the subconscious mind, and this is all about ruminating, overthinking, sometimes worrying, feeling fatigue. Mars is about vitality, like I said, and our action, our ability to get it done. And in the 12th house, it kind of dilutes it, dilutes it and makes it difficult to feel like you want to take action. But it is a lot going on in the subconscious mind, so a lot of the times we're heavily thinking. Sometimes it's about regrets, sorrows, wishful thinking, letting go. It's the house of sorrows, letting go. It's your guys' house. It's all about the spiritual, the behind the scenes. But Mars there is kind of an uncomfortable place for him in general. And since you guys had him here for an extended time period, it can be a little bit difficult and very heavy because there's a lot of rethinking, ruminating, going through things in your mind. Sometimes you might have regrets. It is digging up the subconscious mind. Some of you might be thinking about an old relationship, and maybe you want to suddenly, stir things back up again. I just suggest that you don't really make any serious moves yet until Mars actually moves direct and gets out of your 12th house, just to be sure. But if you're feeling it, then you know what? Who am I to say not to do it? One thing about it is that it's really important that you get sleep, that you get enough rest, because Mars can cause sleep disturbances. You can have very active dreams. Sometimes people have nightmares. Sometimes they just have very active minds, and it's very difficult to go to sleep. So sleep is something that's really important, and you're going to have to prepare yourself. Try to stay away from caffeine. Try to stay away from, or at least cut back if you normally drink a lot of caffeine, because you will find it difficult to turn your mind off in the evening, and you can find yourself a bit tired. Now, this is also the house of hospitals, so some of you could be visiting hospitals, maybe visiting another person in the hospital, maybe have to spend some time in a hospital. It's a house of recreation, institutions, solitary confinement even. There's just a lot of, the 12th house is really about letting go, seeking help, psychological help, finding solutions to some of your problems, reminiscing, going through old thoughts and patterns, a lot of stuff that's like that. So depending upon how it's specifically affecting you. The main thing that I would suggest is that you do spend time in meditation, calming your mind, and making sure that you prepare to sleep and that you get enough sleep, like taking baths and nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, cutting back on the caffeine, to make sure that you sleep well. Because even if you are sleeping well, you think you are, you end up fatigued the next day because your mind is really going. So you're really not getting that kind of quality sleep. That's just one of the things I really noticed with Mars going through the 12th house. But it will be over soon. It's retrograding now. It's going to go all the way back to Capricorn. Then it's going to go back direct again in the sign of Aquarius. You're going to go through it again until it finally gets in your sign. And that's going to be like night and day. When Mars finally enters Pisces, you're going to have the courage and the tenacity and the energy and everything to follow through. But you're going to be doing some heavy evaluating with Mars retrograde in your 12th house. It's not one of my favorite places for Mars. It can be difficult for some. I had to go through it 2 years ago when it was in my 12th house. Personally, I couldn't stand it. But the best advice I can give you is to make sure that you take care of yourself, nurture yourself, allow yourself to rest, and don't push yourself too hard, and just kind of journal what you're feeling and thinking, because sometimes what you think you're feeling during this transit doesn't turn out to be that way after Mars gets out of that house. So just keep that in mind. But definitely just try to get enough rest and relaxation, because you probably won't notice a whole lot else going on with Mars there. It's really behind the scenes energy. So you may feel like you want to spend more time by yourself on your own, you know, just figuring out that you might want to spend more time, you know, time out on your own thinking about stuff. It's really, really strong energy for that. Now we're having a new moon in Cancer. And this is a big new moon. It's going to be on the 12th. It's also a partial solar eclipse that's opposite Pluto. And Cancer for you guys is in your 5th house of love and romance and creativity and self-expression. So for those of you that started a new relationship or that entered a new relationship, this could be solidifying a new relationship. For those of you that have been in an unhappy relationship, this could be the ending of the relationship. But it doesn't necessarily just specifically have to do with love relationships. It has to do with self-expression and creative self-expression. So those of you that are involved in the creative arts, you can find a whole whirlwind of new opportunities opening up for you there after this new moon. And because it's a partial solar eclipse, it could be the ending of an old way of doing something and then opening up a new way of doing something. Now, on the same day, there's a grand trine between Saturn, Uranus, and Venus, which is really, really positive. A grand trine is all about luck and fortune. The energies are working well together. Uranus is currently in your 3rd house. Saturn is currently in your 11th house of friends. And Venus will be in your, by the time this happens, it will be in Virgo, which will be in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships and marriage relationships. So something very positive can come to you guys regarding a relationship. Those of you waiting on news for a relationship information, maybe committing a relationship, even for those of you getting engaged. Now, I know you got this Mars energy in the 12th house. It doesn't have to necessarily be bad. It's just kind of misdirected energy or kind of sluggish feelings at its worst for some of you. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to play a whole lot into what this other positive thing that's happening in terms of your love relationships and committed relationships, marriage, partnerships, and stuff like that. So some of you could be moving to go be with a love partner after this new eclipse on the 12th. And it also looks like this grand trine that's occurring on the 12th also is going to bring positive information regarding a love relationship for those of you that have been waiting to hear from one, or those of you that have been waiting to make a commitment. Some of you can make a commitment. Absolutely. There's a lot of really good aspects with Venus and love relationships for this month. So Venus in Virgo is going to trine Uranus and Taurus is in your 3rd house of communication, and Venus in Virgo is going to be your 7th house of partnership. So this is definitely about getting communication regarding love, positive information. Venus in Virgo is also going to trine Saturn in Capricorn, and Saturn is in your 11th house of friends. So some of you can get good information regarding a friend, messages or communication regarding a friend. Venus in Virgo is also going to sextile Jupiter and Scorpio on the 22nd, which is totally awesome for love. and relationships and partnerships and all of that. There's a lot of aspects happening with with Venus when it's in Virgo, positive aspects, and that happens to be your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, and relationships. So this is a very strong month for you guys, romantically, relationship-wise. The only thing I do see is that the Mars retrograde is in your 12th house, which can be a little bit weird. It can be, it doesn't have to be, but if it is for you guys by any means, just, spend some time, quality time to yourself, relaxing, nurturing yourself. You have to take care of yourself. 12th house of hospitals. So like taking care of yourself, eating right, making sure that you're taking care of your health. That will make all the difference with Mars transit through there. But otherwise, it looks like a really good month for love and relationships. Good communication in regards to friends, positive things happening. The only thing is on the 26th, Mercury is going to turn retrograde in the sign of Leo, which is your guys' 6th house of work, health, fitness, and all that. So Mercury turning retrograde there. Mercury retrograde in general is all about messages and communication coming back from the past. It's also about revisiting things from the past. It can be relationships, exes from the past, definitely. Also just relationships from the past, people from the past, job opportunities from the past with the 6th house. Revisiting that. Some of you could be reformulating a new diet, a new health regime because Mercury is retrograding in your house of health and fitness. Some of you could be thinking about a new fitness plan and all of that with Mercury in retrograde motion. But the main thing to watch out for Mercury retrograde is that miscommunication can occur. Technological breakdowns and mishaps and stuff like that can happen in the beginning when it first happens. But otherwise, the month looks really good for love for you guys. There's a lot going on with the aspects in love and relationships, definitely. And with Jupiter, going direct finally, for you guys, in your 9th house of travel, some of you could be traveling to go visit a love partner, and some of you could be just, exploring, traveling, a lot of exciting things, furthering your education, a lot of opportunities for that as well. But Venus will be transiting come the 9th of this month when Venus moves into Virgo. You guys are going to have your relationship house lit up. So this is all about finding love. And those of you that are married or in a commitment, having a great time with your partner. Some of you are going to travel to a partner or travel with your partner. Go somewhere nice, romantic. How wonderful. Definitely a lot of that happening. So it looks like a fabulous month for you guys. I'm so happy to say this. It could be quiet time with Mars retrograding your 12th house of, solitude and, away from it all type of energy, with your partner, taking a nice vacation with your love partner this month and even through August. It looks like a really good time to do that because it'll be very spiritual, very connected spiritually, very slow, romantic, behind the scenes love type of thing. That's what Mars is also in the 12th house. So yeah, it looks fabulous for you guys. There will be a full moon at the end of the month on the 27th in the sign of Aquarius, which is highlighting your 12th house as well, which will be illuminating something from the subconscious mind, definitely bringing something up to for you to discover. That way you can make changes for the future. You can let go of something, move forward with something, illuminate something. In the subconscious mind, it's a little tricky. It's hard to tell what it's going to be, but definitely an illumination of something that's going to be beneficial for you to carry forward in the future. So it all looks really good for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, but also be sure to click the bell in order to get notification. If you would like your own personal reading, please visit my website at www.illumastrology.com. I have a bunch of different readings that I offer there. I also do monthly life coaching for those of you that are looking to obtain some bigger goals in life using astrology. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you all, and I'm wishing you a fabulous July 2018. Until next time.